Welcome to InnerFight Podcast. My name is Mark Smith, founder of InnerFight.com, and as I am joined weekly by our InnerFight coaches, this week Carmen and Matt join me to answer your questions and to share our insight into all things performance related and to make you better at life, no matter where you are in the world. Thanks for tuning in. Let's jump right in. Here we go. This is it. Is it? It is. It's working. Matt Jones.
Yes.
Matt Jones is here. Welcome, Matt Jones. Carmen Bosmans. Check. Everything seems to be working. That means we can start. We're actually already starting. Folks, another episode of the podcast 188. The infamous 200 is just around the corner. Jones, I want to kick it off. This weekend, your home country, New Zealand, has a chance. I mean, they're in the final. They have a lot more chance than my home country, England. Yeah. They have a chance to retain the William Webb Ellis Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, they do. By 14 points, I think. But
just straight out by 14 points.
My
goodness.
It's going to be a real good game. It'll probably maybe it'll be a lot closer than what people think.
What people think?
Yeah.
I mean, mate, they've dominated so far.
Yeah, they have.
Not been tested. I mean, South Africa, they were close against South Africa.
Yeah, it was a tight game.
Yeah.
South Africa's defense, they played well, I think. So.
Could they? I mean, they will be the first team ever to win back-to-back Rugby World Cups.
I think that's true, isn't it?
Isn't it?
It is true.
Does that excite you?
Yeah, it does.
Proud?
Very proud.
Very proud.
I'll be watching the whole game.
Where do you plan to watch it?
At
some Australian guy's house.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't
Give
decided
Holly
yet.
a call. She might want to go somewhere. She'll definitely be keen for something, I'm sure.
Are they playing against Australia?
They're playing New Zealand playing Australia.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I've actually played Belgium at rugby once. You guys have a national team. You know that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You do? I'm telling you, you do. Yeah.
I only know girls who play it, so
Really?
I don't know any guy who play it. I know a lot of girls in Belgium who play it.
Really?
I know Jones has got some thoughts on girls playing rugby.
Do they run it straight? Everything?
What?
Do they like to tackle hard? And
I haven't watched them play it. But
Carmen, you could be good at rugby.
Yeah, I reckon you'd be alright.
I'm a slow runner, so I don't know.
Yeah, they put you in the front row.
Oh, no. I just have to get all the tackles or what?
They generally put the
You'd love the tackling part of the game.
slow and fat people in the front row. Not that you're fat, but the slow and fat people they put in the front row. And they put people like...
Lift people in lineups.
Yeah.
You'll be lifting me in the lineup.
They put people like Jonesy. You'd have been put in the second row a lot.
Second row, but then towards the end, number 6, number 7.
Number 6,
I
number
saw
7.
I always
really
try
cool,
and say that because it's...
a cool video of a guy, he jumps to the ball backwards,
Yeah.
and one other guy lifts him, and he does like a backflip, but the other guy catches him.
Oh, really?
It's really cool video.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Actually,
it can be.
Sometimes it's very dangerous. I got all of my front teeth knocked out lifting someone in the line out once. He swung back with his arm to jump up, and I wasn't really watching, didn't have my mouth guard in, and smashed all my front teeth.
Did he say sorry? No.
No, he actually didn't care.
Eventually, yeah.
He didn't care. We sort of carried on playing.
Carried on, yeah.
I was spitting these teeth out, and I was like, oh, this is just horrible. And, I had to have all my bottom teeth reconstructed. But that's it this weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be a good game.
Looking forward to that one.
Really excited. Dwayne's excited, I guess.
Dwayne would be excited.
My wife's excited because she's Australian. And
would there be,
I've actually been going against Australia the whole World Cup.
Have you?
She's like, why? I would support New Zealand. I was like, why?
Don't want to support Australia.
But
could that get a little bit heated, mate? If would you just be making cracks for...
I don't know.
Would you use it in your favour for negotiate? Is there any bets on the line, like I'll cook for you for a month, or
I don't know.
Or you'll do the dishes for a month?
Not throw any. The dishes thing might be quite good. Yeah.
Or mate, I'll just buy you the dishwasher.
Yeah. Yes.
Whoever wins buys the other a dishwasher, which you both benefit from.
Oh, that'd be great.
Any which way you're going to get a dishwasher.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a maid.
Let's see.
We'll crack on. Great weekend last weekend out at the Desert Warrior Challenge. The second time that we've attended that. Bit unfortunate that we were rather split up as a gym, as a community. A few guys went in the morning, and then a few of us went in the afternoon. We were chasing down Dio Human and his humanoids up there at the front. They were, except that one bloke, wasn't it?
Jacques was his name?
Was his name Jacques? He was hating it.
We kept helping him.
We kept helping him.
And then he always ran away from us. We helped him over the obstacle.
We're like, there he is.
And then he's gone.
It's like, I don't want to be associated with these guys.
Dio, if you do listen, get that guy in the gym. We want to see him in here. We have some unfinished business, actually. eventually.
Yeah. He'd love the barbell, that guy.
He wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would. So
a few thrusters. Get him in for a few thrusters. Carmen, you turned it into more of an acrobat. You did a triple somersault down down the hill.
Yeah, I can still see it on my back.
Yeah, bad acne.
It looked like at the time.
It looks like I got really...
It looked like you knew what you were doing. So I heard him laugh. I started laughing. But then when you got up and you were sort of overextending, holding your head, I was like,
hurt it a lot, but I didn't want to show it, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was like, shit.
And then Ben was in there sort of,
Ben was just being a good school teacher, as he is, and just telling him, mate, I think she's really hurt. I'm like, doesn't matter.
But I
doesn't
thought
matter.
It's steep. It's down. I just start running, and I just... If I can't keep up with my legs, I just roll. Roll. I thought, and I thought it's sand, so it would be soft. Not.
It was rocks.
Yeah, that was hard. It was, actually, I'll take a little bit of responsibility for that. I took us the wrong way. We shouldn't have actually been up there.
Yeah, true.
Denzel, I was trying to get us to do a shortcut because there was like 2K of mindless running in there, which I knew from our group of about 10, only about 2 people would be happy doing. Yeah. Anyway, the marshal got a bit excited, but that was a good event. Some good obstacles chucked in there as always.
Slide actually was one of my favourites.
Slide,
pull yourself under.
Yeah, pull yourself down, and it was about a 15-metre slippery slide.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
They're quite good fun.
Yeah, I like that.
We should maybe set one up on the car park out here. I remember we set one up on our rugby field once in the season, and our rugby field was on a slight angle, and we just set up. We went and bought the plastic and set up like a slip and slide. Yeah. Loads of washing up liquid and just down to your undies and just go for it. Just run from under the goalposts, hit it about the halfway line, and just try and get as far as you can. Lots of you'd have done a couple of those, Jones.
Yeah. I remember a mate of mine in my backyard. Like we didn't know. We're like, okay, you go, and there was actually no water around. So he went sprinting like full ball and then just stopped, massive blood nose.
Really?
I think my mum was like, what happened? I went, I don't know.
No one cares. But definitely some good achievements for people there. I mean, it was an obstacle course, 22 obstacles, but there was 10K of running in there, which I think for you Bosmans was quite a long run. Yeah,
it was probably the biggest achievement of my life so far. I don't think I ever ran 10K and then in the desert.
Yeah, it was. It's nice that you get 500 meter, like every 500 meters you get the obstacle though. That was pretty good.
Wait a little bit.
Wait a long time. Yeah, too long. Favorite obstacle, Jonesy?
I thought it was the actual slide. Yeah, well, I think the one that wasn't actually part of it, but the one where you somersault. That was actually my favourite part.
Just going down it.
Yeah. So, I think I'll claim that.
Carmen, favourite obstacle?
The one where you had to run up and then jump up and
the quarter pipe.
Yeah, the quarter pipe.
Yeah, that was pretty good
where
fun.
I had to do 3 tries. Yeah.
I wasn't going to mention that.
But I didn't want to use the rope. I wanted to
Absolutely
run all
not.
the way up.
Yeah.
It was
just
scary.
Grab on by your fingertips.
And then just do the best
just
strict bar muscle up and then flex all the way
up. You got to flex
and then they want
no time for relaxing.
They want to take pictures of me once I was up.
Did you get your picture taken? Someone take me in a picture. They took a picture of me.
Oh.
They took a really weird picture of me, like I'm there and then someone's arm is here and all their arm hair, it looks like I've got this weird bit of hair on my chest, which I don't.
What was your favourite?
Mate, I was going to say it was the rock climbing holsters that you had to go over and then you sort of dropped into the water, so the lateral thing.
Yeah,
that was getting some from these walls.
Did you do it? Did you do it?
No, I fell in.
Same.
Did you?
No.
Did you fall in,
No,
Josie?
I didn't fall in, mate.
I
learned from Robot. I learned from Rob.
He's so tall, he can just reach to the other side. And
probably does help, yeah.
But I found that it was a little bit difficult because you're sort of swinging. So with our longer levers, like for Rob, it was quite easy.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a big achievement for him. Little Charlie got over as well. Charlie Williams. That was pretty easy for him. I think you guys were the only 3 in our sort of 10 that got through it.
Yeah.
But it's a good, decent event. I think, if the obstacles didn't hold us up for so long, it took about 2 hours to go around that. And we weren't actually running that slowly.
No, I'd say that it was Ben actually put it well, the teacher. He said it wasn't too slow, but it wasn't really fast. So it was a good pace, in other words.
That's a pretty. That's
what he said, and I looked on my way.
Good way of putting it.
Really good, Ben. Good stuff.
Well done, Ben. Let's jump into a couple of questions that we've got here. A few have come in. Fraser is back in the house. He's got some.
Fraser's
got
some good questions.
He's got some good questions. I want to read this one. unlike I did the other week when I read a question and someone said, rephrase it if you want. I read the end of his and he said, rephrase it if you want. But I'm actually going to read the whole thing out. I heard once from someone that changing your goals from fat loss to muscle building on a regular basis will in the long run take much longer to achieve good results and could end up not being achieved at all. I tend to look at the scales at weigh-in and think of two things. If I'm over, I'll focus a bit more on a healthy diet, reduce portion size, reduce carb intake, not takeaways, as we've given him a little bit of a hard time before. Jess tells me that that's pretty much better and now he's under control after his trip in South Africa. And the training. Problem is I can't keep this up for too long. If I'm on target or below, I will slightly increase portion sizes and carb intake and continue training. Is it efficient to train like this or is there a better way? My view would be to drop the weight, then build the muscle. But it seems to be a regular cycle that when I'm in muscle building phase, I put on a little bit too much and revert back to dropping weight. So essentially we're caught, I mean, it's quite complicated that. He could have phrased it different.
Are we rephrasing this?
Rephrase. So I'll rephrase Fraser's question. I would say that I think what he's getting at here is that what's really the priority and how should we go about it? Can we lose fat at the same time that we're building muscle? And you know he's on the body analysis machine sort of weekly, and he's looking at that. When he sees, I guess when he says if I'm over, he says I'll focus a little bit more on a healthy diet. I guess if he's over his body fat, then he's going to focus on a healthy diet. And he says if I'm on target or below, I'll increase my portions. So it's kind of like
Why would he do that?
Yeah, because then next week you're over, and then you're dropping it down again.
You're going to have this yo-yo effect
all
the time.
Which isn't what you're after, right?
Yeah. So what are we generally sort of pointing towards here then? My honest opinion is for most people is I want people to focus on getting rid of some of the fat first. What I see on that body analysis machine through the training that we're doing is that people are able to sustain the same level of muscle whilst dropping fat through if they eat the way that we tell them to eat and with the training that we're giving them. Once they've reached that fat loss goal, and I don't know. I know we've spoken about this before, Jones, but a lot of guys sometimes come in and want to put on muscle. And like, how big do you really want to be?
And what are you going to use it for?
And what are you going to use it for? I remember when I was playing rugby, I was 100 kilos. I'm now 92, but a lot stronger. You know, it's like, and I did have a little bit more muscle, but now the muscle I have is a lot stronger. So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at on it. I'm like, listen, if you've got 10 kilos of fat and you want to get it down to 7, get it down to 7. And if you've got 40 kilos of muscle, let's sustain that 40 kilos of muscle. Let's make it as strong as possible. And if when you've got that 7 kilos of fat, you then want to decide that you want to get 42 kilos of muscle, then let's get into that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it just sounds like, coming down to that nutrition thing, there might be that lifestyle thing there as well. But because like say have a week where you're eating clean, and then a week where I'll better up my carbs again. Then you want to be a bit consistent on that part. But
I think that's what you're onto, Carmen. The yo-yo thing is like
no.
Just
find something that's not too hard to sustain during the whole month. Like not one week I'm really strict, and then the other week I don't care because I was a whole week strict. I lost my body fat. Now I'm gonna eat. Like I can't see the
because it's simple, isn't it? But it can be the most challenging thing for some people, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They achieve these results and then they just either stop or maybe go on a bender. Not saying Fraser went on a bender. I'm not saying that at all.
But he did.
Oh, did he?
He was in South Africa 10 days. We've been through there. We've visited.
Is he the one who got like 3 kilos?
He got 3 kilos of fat in 10 days. Like that's good commitment. I'm happy with that.
Really
but
if you could do that with muscle, wow, in 10 days.
Thing as well, I'd be interested to see. I might try and see if we can pull up his figures in a second. But I'd actually be interested to see the fluctuation in muscle because I actually find it like if people are genuinely not on a muscle gain diet, which as we know is sort of at least 30 to 40% additional eating of clean food to get that muscle gain, there isn't actually much muscle variation. The only muscle variation that we're seeing is in water. So it's like, is there actually a gain or a loss that's not water related? And people that are jumping on that body analysis machine, I mean, that's another one of the questions that I've had, like actually reading a body analysis, what should I be looking out for? Is that people are like, oh, my percentage is up, my percentage is down, or my weight's up and my weight's down. Like, I actually don't care. What we really care about is how many kilos of fat you've got, how many kilos of muscle you've got, and how many kilos of water you've got. And then that's the that's the way. So for Fraser, on another note there, I won't mention who this is because she always listens, and you know who she is.
Yeah.
Everyone does. But she sent me something through this morning, which is another way, another fitness company or strength conditioning company based in the US of this, and this is absolutely nuts. It's 6 meals a day,
right,
and stipulated in every single meal the time that you have it, the number of grams of protein, fat, carbohydrates. It's actually, they say 50 on this particular one that I'm reading off, 50 grams of carbs / greens. And I'm like, what's the difference? Because there's carbohydrate in greens, right? And this is like 6 to 7 meals a day, and all of them have to be specific. 55 grams of protein, 7 grams of fat, 50 grams of carbs.
Well, as soon as the way you're talking about that.
Here's Phil. Phil sent us a message.
What's he saying?
What's he say?
Oh,
nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. He wants to meet me on Thursday.
Absolutely nothing.
He's not even wishing us good luck. He's not even saying he's sorry that he's not here. And anyway, sorry, Jonesy.
Think about looking at that. Like, I reckon it can depend on the person. Like that to me. Like, is that going to just stress someone out? Like, let's say they can't get it down to a T here.
Yeah.
And that straight away it's going to stress someone out.
Yeah.
So can they sustain something like that for what?
More than 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. So.
It's
for
pretty
someone
insane.
that's maybe got an obsessive personality or whatever.
Are these meals already cooked for them?
Honestly, I don't know. I've had a look on the website and it just looks like a meal plan. So this is what you should have. So you then have to put together 55 grams of protein. It's going
to take a lot of preparation.
Is it 55 grams of actual protein, or is the steak 55 grams? I don't know. I just got sent it over.
Too much information. I mean, I'm not saying I've got anything against it.
No.
Maybe someone may want to do that for a month just for their own peace of mind, and then they can sort it out after that. But
it will take a month to prepare everything.
Well, yeah, exactly. So,
I mean, the thing though, I think we've spoken about portion size before and what we generally eat. You kind of know, like, if you're hungry, you have 2 steaks or 3 steaks, and if you're not so hungry, you have like 2 steaks or 3 steaks.
Yeah, the 20-ounce steak.
The 20-ounce steak. But yeah, I think on Fraser's question, I think we're all pretty much the same, that you need to find something that's going to take you to those goals. And, I would say that around 80-90% of people, I mean, only 10% of the people that I've seen come through are actually looking for real muscle increase. And I don't know if people have done like a real muscle increasing food program before, but it is a ton of food.
Yeah, you got to eat
like,
it, right?
Yeah. I remember when I came back from an ultra once and I'd lost 3 kilos of muscle. Like, I was eating like 3 kilos of meat a day. It was ridiculous. So it was a lot. Hope that answers Fraser's question. The next one is an absolute brilliant question from him. Jonesy, do you know what a Jaffa cake is? Do you have those in New Zealand?
No, I know what Jaffa is, but I've never had this Jaffa cake. What's the story?
Carmen doesn't really know it. Like, what did you call it?
I thought it was first Café Noir.
No, which is not, but the second one.
Then a Pims.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Pims is like what they drink at the races. No. Pims is alcohol.
There's probably alcohol in it.
No.
No?
But it's like, so what's the Pims?
It's like this cake.
Yeah.
A little cake with like orange, what is it?
Jelly or something.
Yeah. Orange gel. Yeah. And then a very thin layer of chocolate. Which is very crunchy.
Right, which is exactly which is the same. It's a brand on its own, Jaffa cake. Well, it's made by someone. Let's call it Jaffa cake in England. I think it's quite an English thing, but they have it in Europe as well. It's exactly like she described. The bottom is like a spongy, but it's not even as thick as my finger, right?
It's very thin. I think it's like... Yeah, like my pinky.
Yeah, exactly. A nice little bit of orange jelly, like loads of sugar in the middle, and then normally dark chocolate on top. Dark chocolate on top.
Is anyone bringing any in? Or?
I don't know. Ask these questions, and then we just have to think about it.
It would be so much better, especially now we're doing the video version. It would be so much better if we could just have one here, and we could just go...
Yes.
And just
the question was,
I think in future, I'd come to a question. In future, if people do want to ask questions related to things such as cakes, sweets, ice creams, or anything like that, please, we won't answer them unless we have some on the table and we can properly, because we're from different cultures and we need to understand.
That will sort it out.
So the question is, is a Jaffa cake a cake or a biscuit? Knowing
Fraser, you ask good questions.
Knowing that a Jaffa cake is the size of pretty much like a digestive biscuit, like a little cookie.
Oh, right.
Carmen, what is it?
I think it's a cake because I already told it was like a cake.
And it's called a Jaffa cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why would it be? I think if it was a biscuit, it would be crunchy.
You mentioned it's spongy.
It's a little bit spongy,
so that
mate.
Just instantly makes me think it's a cake.
It's a cake. But we're not sure.
Do you know what we're talking about?
No,
I'm going to Google it.
But the thing is, if I gave you a plate of biscuits, and this is where I'm coming from this, if I put on the table a plate of biscuits, and you have a digestive biscuit or whatever everyone knows, and then I put next to it a Jaffa cake, you would still call it a plate of biscuits, even if the predominant number of biscuits on the plate were cakes. It's getting a little bit out of hand, really, isn't it? Fraser. Anyway, that's a pretty good one.
You got a picture?
Just got a picture. That looks very cakey though.
Yeah, like a little mini.
Yours is more. Yours is a lot cakey, more cakey than ours. Put in Jaffa cake and you'll see. It comes in a blue packet with a little bit of orange peel on it.
I'll do Pim's cookies versus Jaffa cakes.
Yeah, you could do that. Fraser, I'm not too sure. This is quite similar to Jess's question. Like, if you could only eat two things for the rest of your life, what would it be? Yeah. What would yours be, Carmen? Let's bring Jess's question. You weren't here. If there was, I think it was 2 meats left for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Only meat. No,
you could these 2 meats. Meat, chicken, fish, whatever.
Just steaks.
Okay, so you'd have steak, beef, and
pork ribs.
And it didn't have to be that specific, but that's quite good.
Yeah, fair enough.
You had some pork ribs the other night, Jonesy.
Yes, I did.
Not bad.
It was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I went pork and beef as well. Phil went duck.
Duck. Yeah, not many people like that.
I forgot.
Would you eat duck the rest of your life?
Yeah, instead of the pork.
There we go, Jaffa cakes. See, ours are a lot smaller. Mate, that looks like a biscuit.
Yeah, that looks like a biscuit now. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not actually such a bad question. It's still taking up way too much time.
It depends where you eat it. In Europe, England.
Let's jump to the next one because I think this is super important, and I've actually had it asked to me a number of times. It's actually from a friend of ours, Yusuf, who came to see us, and now he's on a 6-week break. He's in Mexico at the moment. He says hi to everyone. Really getting into the podcast. Thanks a lot for keeping me entertained and motivated whilst he hikes the mountains above Malibu, driving on the California coast, and sitting in the pool yesterday in Mexico. So he's really enjoying listening to us. So we'll answer his question. So my question is about massage. Question to you and the coaches: if you think athletes should include sports massage as a regular part of a weekly workout plan to aid recovery and work out any sore muscles.
Yes.
Thoughts? Yes?
Yes.
Super happy with this.
Yes.
Is it on a rest day or is it instead of a workout?
If you were to do it that day, I would probably recommend not training that day.
Yeah.
I read one in one place that just said once a month's okay to do.
Yep.
Once every 2 weeks is better, but once a week would be very ideal.
If you train
if you're training with
very
if
cool.
you're an athlete, you should have it once a week.
How do we define that?
I think if you're training CrossFit 4 to 6 days a week, then once a week or definitely once a fortnight would be ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carmen?
Yeah, same. If you can afford it to have a massage every week.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like, do your own trigger point release and all that sort of stuff.
The thing is, what I always do is, like, I would spend 10 to 15 minutes just on the mats that we have here. Foam roll. We have different kind of foam rolls. So the ones with the dots on, like the knots on, I think that's really good to go just deep into the muscle a bit more. So
you can almost sort of prehab this stuff and just really get into it, like after a workout and put a little bit in your training too.
Training in 10 minutes and then hit the showers.
Hit the showers, exactly.
Cold shower.
Stop the inflammation. Yep, I'm pretty much agreeing with you guys. I've seen Tamara down at Disc for a long time now. Even before she was at Disc, she was at another place, and I've been treated by her on a weekly basis. And to be honest, since I've not been so active and I've sort of put it on the back burner a little bit, and getting back into training, I haven't picked it up again, and I've I've seriously felt the difference. I mean, and I think one of the things is as well that folks maybe sometimes don't understand is it's not really a massage like people might think.
Like, it's not relaxing.
It's not relaxing.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah,
it's super painful.
Cry.
And that's what you said as well, Jonesy. Like sometimes after I've been to see it, I need the day off.
Yeah,
it's like exactly. I don't feel like training, but really gets in there. So Yusuf, definitely we'd be recommending that for you.
Sure.
And you know, if you can do it, and I think you rightly said, Carmen, if you can do it and you can afford to do it on a weekly basis, it's a really good investment of time. And I think as well, if you can get someone that really gets it, some of these massage places are like, you know, you've got big muscles and they don't want to rub you. You know, exactly, it's like they can't really get into it and they're not super strong enough. So somewhere like where Dr. Tamara works out of, Disc down there in Healthcare City, is an absolutely fantastic place, and they have all different sorts of therapists.
And they know what sort of training that we get into.
They understand.
So they've got that understanding. So it's they'll always meet you halfway.
She has an evil assistant as well, Tamara, Jenny. Little Jenny, little Filipino Jenny. She's a massage therapist extraordinaire, absolutely awesome. Really, really helped me a lot when I was training for the Sahara. And I told her that when she was pregnant, when she was delivering, she was going to be in more pain, and she was just trying to hurt me as much as I could every time I was rude to her. But definitely get down and see those guys. That's super important. I want to talk about an event that we had here at the gym last week. Richard Parks. What do we think of him? Welsh guy, Seven Mountains.
It was quite funny. Yeah, he's got a pretty cool story.
Cool story.
I'd like to read his book.
Yeah.
Can we get
I actually have a copy of his book for your wife.
Yes.
Signed by him.
Oh, there you go.
Has her name in it.
This is it.
And his phone number.
This is it. And the number.
Definitely has his phone number. And it has a few extra pictures.
Here we talk about.
Yeah. But
he's got some good chat on him, though. Yeah. Yep. So I'm looking forward to reading his book.
Carmen, you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was sitting there like almost with my mouth open. Like, I want to know more. And then, I thought it was a really inspiring story what he had to tell.
What he had to say,
Especially the way, he had to
I just wished he could tell us more. Like, I felt something.
You wanted him for longer? That's a bit greedy.
Not longer, but like, it was something, like I said.
It's super cool. Yeah. It was a pleasure for us to be able to host him, and it was nice turnout of a whole bunch of people. What I want to dig into a little bit on stuff like that, he pulled up something like someone asked him sort of, why did you start doing this? And he said that he'd read in a book of Sir Ranulph Fiennes, who's the great British explorer, super famous guy, and done some incredible things as well. And that he'd read his book, and that sort of got him motivated. Do you guys read anything that sort of, I don't know, sparks a bit of fire? I mean, we watched Rich Fromming's movie the other week, and I was demotivated, to be honest.
Boring. I almost want to adopt a child.
Where do we go to? What resources do we go to for that kind of stuff?
I've recently read Bear Grylls, one of his books.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought it was quite interesting. I know some of his stuff's a bit controversial and what he does on TV and all that, but you know who he is, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
They have him in Belgium in English? Or
yeah, it's in English.
Or they translate
it's just on Discovery Channel.
It's just on Discovery, right. That was a serious question.
No, I think it's good. It's when he's climbing Mount Everest, and that's why, like when he was chatting about it on Thursday, it was some similar stuff that they had to go through in that.
Yeah.
So I think I'd recommend that book. It's got some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
I also read the one before that, one on Tupac Shakur.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I really like his music. Not all of it, but most of it. So
that's why
if you maybe don't like his music, maybe don't read it. But hey, he's got some good stuff. It brings up his childhood and that, and everyone's got a story. So I thought it was, and the one before that was he was in Kiss. What's his name? I feel so bad here. I should know his name. We'll come back to this, eh? Yeah. Have you guys read any books? Have you guys read books? I've got to think. I can't remember his name.
Carmen, favourite sports book or favourite most inspirational book of all time that you've read?
Recently I read was The Sports Gene. And then
what's The Sports Gene?
It's just about, like, they go back and they see, like, athletes who had like extraordinary performances in certain sports in certain countries, and then like for instance one girl in golf
Yeah.
And then a Korean girl in golf, she plays the top, and then 10 years later, there's like 40 girls in the top.
Right.
And it explains a bit why that's about.
Do you as a, let's put you as the title of female sports person, female athlete, do you get more motivation from female stories or from male stories of success and successful athletes? Or does it...
That's a good question, because if I look to sports, I always watch the girls. In
Right.
tennis, I like tennis girls
More than guys? Right.
I almost never watch the guys.
Right.
Because you always want to compare yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
always want to
yeah,
compare myself
yeah.
with it. Not so much in tennis, but if I look to the games, I don't even know half of the guys, but I know all the girls.
Right.
I know the weights they do, and I
Right.
always think like, oh, I can do this, or
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
I'm far away from this
Yeah.
person, or
I actually used to always watch the Aussie Open, and I'd always watch girls play more so than the guys, to be honest.
Really?
The rallies were longer.
Yeah, I used to hate watching chicks tennis.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
too long and boring.
Too long, yeah.
Like,
I quite enjoyed it.
I
the
just
Aussie
used to
Open.
like Agassi just mainly because of his haircut, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like
Cool to watch, yeah.
his serve and volley, and Sampras serve and volley. And,
Yeah.
and
I guess he had. I think he had the best return of serve, to be honest.
Did he? You like that?
That's why, because Sampras, when he played, he was a bit more of a serve and volley. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So when they played, it was two
always
different games. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't big on chicks. I'd prefer to watch. But so it's a lot of women motivate you, right?
yeah,
Yeah. But when this is a good question. When you're in a gym, a CrossFit gym, and you're doing a workout in a class with guys, are you trying to beat the guys?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, in weights too.
In weights, in time,
Time.
in movement, in absolutely
Yeah.
everything?
Here it's quite hard because there's some good guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talking about me there? Yeah.
Us
Yeah,
both?
yeah,
whoa, whoa,
you
whoa.
guys, you
Yeah,
guys.
you
Yeah.
guys, okay.
But,
And
yeah.
Johnny.
Johnny Face. Yeah.
Johnny when he's
Johnny
squatting.
boy, yeah.
You would have beaten
Squat.
Johnny in his conditioning workout yesterday.
Yeah.
3 cal ski on the first minute, 5 GHD sit-ups on the second minute
Is
for
it
10
joke?
minutes.
3 cals.
I don't know.
Nah, I think it was a bit more than that, wasn't
Okay.
it?
Well, he tried to tell me it was 30 GHD sit-ups on 1 minute and like 30 cals on the second minute, but
No,
there's
Johnny.
no way it could have been.
John.
It's probably 10 and 10.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He
I
still
can't
had his
remember
tight
what
pants on for it though.
it was.
I think you'd beat John in John actually listens to the podcast often. I think you'd beat John in a few conditioning workouts, but there won't be many people. Well, I mean, pound for pound, and we had this discussion earlier about this weightlifting competition this weekend. You might outlift him. You might.
If we put it like in Sinclair points,
Yeah?
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
We'll see, Johnny boy.
Johnny.
Carrying on from books and inspiration, what would be the one best piece of advice you've ever been given? If you could say there's one piece of advice, it could be from your parents, it could be from anyone, what would be the one best piece of advice you've been given?
For a competition?
For
Or
anything.
just life.
Just
The
life.
best thing, if we're in a competition, it was
Yeah.
just don't look to anybody else.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you can do. Just look straight forward and then just be in the zone and go. And
Yeah.
don't care about what
Don't
the
care.
people next to you.
Yeah.
Just go. And once I started to do that in competitions, I had much better results.
Yeah.
And I had more fun too.
A lot more fun.
Yeah.
Because it's more about you than everyone else.
Yeah. It's a bit selfish.
It's very selfish. But
Sports.
doesn't it have to be?
Yeah. You have to be a bit selfish.
If we talk about top sports people, do we not think that they're like one of the characteristics of some of the best athletes in the world is selfishness?
Yeah, because you have to put so many things aside
Yeah.
to do your sport, to be in the best level you can be. We
Yeah.
had to talk earlier on
Yeah.
about the mountaineers and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
that they're like, it's really a bit fucked
Yeah,
up
on
for
the
the
back
head,
of,
in the
of,
head, like,
of Richard.
yeah, just alone the whole time,
Yeah.
and where the things
Yeah.
you think about.
I think
Well-
one major thing I've always heard of is that, and I guess it's big for Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
and a lot of other people out there, is, set the bar really high, even if you continue to fail,
Yeah.
you fail. Two things, eventually you should get there,
Yeah.
and another thing is that it'll make the smaller kind of goals feel a lot easier when you're trying to set massive goals.
Massive goals. So
I remember
the
Tom
bits
actually
along
mentioned
the
that.
way.
He
Yeah.
actually mentioned that in the inner talks
his
with
talk,
you two.
yeah.
And that's kind of stuck in my mind quite a bit. So
What
stuff like
about talking of Richard Parkes, talking about being selfish and alone, Jonesy, how would you be? He did 28 days skiing, 12, 14 hours a day, alone across Antarctica, 100-mile-an-hour winds, freezing cold, bits of him falling off, this, that, and the other. Okay, remove the elements, but how would you be, mate, doing a challenge, some sort of physical challenge, 28 days solo?
That's a big ask for Matthew, David, Simons, Jones to do.
Too much?
I guess we're just quite lucky the way that
the way that CrossFit workouts last for 6
minutes. It's going to stop. And what he did was phenomenal. So, hey. It's pretty awesome.
Carmen, could you be on your own for that long?
I can be on my own for a long time. I don't actually need anybody to talk to. I can just talk in my head and then make up stories in my head. I can amuse myself when I'm alone.
Do you make up stories and then actually believe that they're true?
It's true, yeah.
Just that cold weather, I guess you kind of, that doesn't bother you that much, does it?
Happy with the cold?
No, that would be a problem, I think.
That would be a problem?
Just in the cold.
Just the way he said that they were
That's why I moved to Dubai. I don't like the cold that much.
2 or 3 days, wasn't it? They were just sitting there in their tents.
Yeah, that was another one.
It wasn't even up.
No, it's like... Yeah.
Yeah, that's what made me think, shit, that's pretty awesome. Like, tough.
Jonesy, best piece of advice you've ever been given. Come on, you've had ages to think about it.
I just said that. Like, it's okay to... You just got to...
Michael Jordan.
He's a pretty... I think he's a good idol to have, to be honest. Yeah.
You read his books?
I haven't. I'd like to, though. Yeah, if anyone's got it, bring it in.
To his book. I can't remember what it's called. I've got it somewhere in audiobooks.
There was a documentary when I was flying on the Emirates plane one time. They had one. It was pretty good to watch.
Short documentaries.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I like those.
I saw one on Mike Tyson long ago. That was pretty good.
Do we see, like, obviously we're involved in sport, but do you guys read books on people that are, like, I don't know, successful business people or just successful in their realm, or is that not interesting? Like, I remember when Nelson Mandela, obviously huge character, lots of history behind it, he wrote Long Walk to Freedom. And my dad's kind of got it, and it's like this thick, like 3 encyclopedias worth, and I'm just going, I couldn't think of anything worse than reading that. And it's obviously he goes through all the reasons why he was there and the politics and stuff. And any motivation or any inspiration? I mean, I'm motivated and inspired by what Mandela did, but I've never really been. I've never thought about reading that book. Like, is it because we're in sport that we like sports stuff?
I'm more biased towards that, but maybe I should read some other books like that as well. But
I'm a bit the same. I like reading books if it's like about sports or it's about getting better in life or something where I learn something from. Yeah, exactly. I don't like to read just a story or I would fiction never sort of fiction. I would never buy a book like.
I don't think I've ever read a fiction book in my life.
And then spend days on that. No.
What Tupac? What was the main content in his book? Because obviously, like sometimes I've picked up a book about a sport that I've thought what the guy's done or the girl's done. I only read one female sports autobiography, but a lot of the point here is that the content is based around certain events that happened that really... Is Tupac's the same, like the music industry and this?
Yeah. I mean, he grew up in the ghetto, obviously. He didn't really have a father figure, so that made it pretty tough. He had, like, siblings. I think he was going through a hard time, but he was just pretty passionate about it. He really got into the drama side of things.
Right.
Yeah, at school. And he was actually really good at it, apparently. So, like, mate, come and do this. You're not really that handy in that. But he was a very smart person, but he just didn't really apply himself. But, and then he was just always into rapping and
just loved it.
He just loved it, and he was pretty good at it, so he just carried on. But
it
goes through all this other stuff. It's definitely worth reading.
We were talking about that this morning, weren't we? Musical instruments. I woke up singing this morning. Really no idea why. Snow Patrol, chasing cars.
I thought it was Coldplay.
She thought it was Coldplay, and then we just both realised that we're absolutely musically retarded.
Yes.
Did you play an instrument at school, Jonesy?
No, I didn't. No? I remember I was going there, and then I went and knocked on the door in the classroom, and I kind of looked at everyone and went, I'm not going to fit in there. So no offence, I just...
There weren't... I don't know, we had a couple of people at our school that were like they were really good at sport, they were really good at music, and they were super smart, and they were probably quite good looking as well. I used to hate those people.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's why you pick on them, right?
But yeah, I'm not sure. There's a few people. We used to have a couple of guys in our rugby team that were good at playing the guitar and good at singing, but they were very few and far between, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And I remember our music teacher was called Mr. Dawson.
Mr. what?
Mr. Dawson.
Really?
Yeah, and when he used to do the whole thing, his face would shake. I was just like, I don't know if I can look at this face. So. Yeah, so I stayed away from that.
A little bit of talking about mental prep, Carmen. You mentioned it there in competitions, like block out everyone. We've had a few questions recently. There's been a lot of competitions coming up. People are thinking about competitions. There was the competition that you were in. There's Dubai Fitness competition. There's Battle of the East happening this weekend. And then, of course, we won't open it too early, but it's coming again. The Open is coming. And people are already doing their head in about sort of competition stuff. So if you could say, like, you said the first one is just worry about yourself. If there was two other things you could share with people that not only that they could take into a competition, but maybe into just a class workout. I'm sure that, like when a competition workout comes up, people are like, oh my God, there's swimming in it. Like when people see the board every day, oh my God, there's squat in it. Like what are the couple of things that every day that you could say to people aside from just focus on your own stuff that you think would help people?
Yeah, I think what's the problem with a lot of people when they see like the number on the board and it's like 100 squats, they're already like 100 squats, how am I going to do this? So what I would say is just see it as small parts, like don't think of 100 squats, but think of, I'm going to do 5 squats and then I'm going to do another 5 squats.
Yeah.
And then you put it up in parts. You break everything up and then it looks way easier.
Yeah.
I think that always helps for me. And then
unless your coach doesn't let you put the wall ball down.
And yeah, and make a game plan, like how I'm going to tackle it, especially when you're going to do the Open and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to be in this gym, but in our gym, we gave them one chance because I don't see the use of doing it 3 times if you're already sure you're not going to qualify for it.
But what there's a lot of different sort of quotes and stuff, when a bomb blows up in the middle of the road, the game plan sort of goes out the window. So what sort of point do we get stressed to a level that, oh my God, this isn't going to plan. I thought that this,
then you
this
need
was
to
my
adapt
plan,
to
this
it.
is my strategy,
Course. Yeah.
So is that just adaptability like something that's super important as well?
Yeah, of course. Like if you have a plan and you feel, in the first round already, this is not gonna work, just relax. Don't stress about it and think, okay, what can I do? Okay, I can do this. The most important thing is in a workout, just keep moving. It doesn't matter how slow you go, but just keep moving. And I think if you do that, eventually you will have a good score.
Yeah.
Sure. Just don't stop. Don't stress out. Don't panic.
Yeah. Jonesy, big reps on the board. What do you think? And sort of what do you do in your mind?
I think breaking it up a little bit. Like breaking it up in your mind, like to 5 sets of 20, what you're sort of saying before, like say there's 100 of something, or, like obviously if you can't do the 100 unbroken, then hey, break it up, and then you might get there and, you can always kind of do one more rep.
Yeah.
Like wall balls, for example, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm going to do one more. Screw it, I'm going to do 5 more, and you can just sort of keep going. Like
the workout we did with the toes to bar yesterday. Yeah. Like we had to do 6 every 20 seconds.
Yeah.
For me, 6 was a number I know I could do it always. Like if I have to do 6 toes to bar, I know I can almost do it. So that's why I kept that RX or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it worked. But I think it's the same thing in a workout. Find a number you're like sure with, like 5 reps, and keep it small and small rests. And that's the way you can keep moving, I think.
It's like running, or maybe doing like a long farmer's walk, like, I'm going to walk to that lamppost, and then you're like, well, I'm here. Well, may as well just sort of keep on going.
Just a little more.
And is that sort of saying, like, for you, mate, it might be like a farmer's walk to a lamppost, but isn't the application and the theory exactly the same? If I hate running, I'm carrying a load of weight. Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm going to keep running this 10 meters. I'm going to get to that putt, and then I'm going to, and then you get there, and it's like, actually, I'm here. I can go again.
Yeah,
and it just keeps you.
It's the way you talk to yourself during the workout that will keep you going.
What do we think about that? About talking to yourself and about more positive self-talk as opposed to, I mean, one of the workouts came out for Battle of the East the other day, and it's a 50-meter swim, which is just nothing. But then it's a 50-cal air bike, and Phil rightly said, like, this workout is nothing about the swim. It's just there to mess with your head, and people are like, the swim,
good luck if you haven't been practicing swimming or something.
Yeah, that's what
if you can't swim, it will be a problem.
Yeah. But I mean, it's 50 cals air bike.
Yeah.
So it's like what's important. I remember when, and we will talk a lot more about the Open as that season rolls around towards the end of the year. But I remember when workouts come out and it's like 150 wall balls, 90 double unders, and then AMRAP muscle ups, and everyone's like, "Oh, I don't have any muscle ups." It's like, yeah, but you can't do 90 double unders.
Yeah.
So why are you caring about
think about the wall balls.
Why?
And then some people can't do 150 wall balls.
And then some people can't do 150 wall balls in like 20 minutes. It's like, wow.
We saw that yesterday.
We did see that yesterday, didn't we? We're not allowed to speak about that before the boss of Red Zone is back, and he's done a full review of the damage that you and I have caused to his to his cult whilst he's been away. Another question whilst we're talking about training, this one's popped up. How often can I train abs? I think this is probably the oldest one. I know on my radio show that I do on Dubai Eye, I think we get this every single week. Like, how often should I be training abs? Thoughts?
I think you can go first.
Are you sure?
No, I'll go first. You can do it every day.
I was going to say every day.
Every day.
But
because
the thing is,
not always the same things. Just so many things you can do for your abs.
Don't just focus on the front.
Static
People
holds.
need to remember. They need to remember that sides and their lower back.
Yeah.
So you can train them every day. Yeah. You can train them every day.
So if we took this away and changed the word, and this is what I like to do sometimes, is just take abs out of it and say core. Like, how often can I focus on my core every day? It's like me, I try and focus almost on sort of my posterior chain or some form of it every single day. Like, no matter if it's good mornings, no matter whatever it is, straight leg deadlifts, like whatever, I'm just always trying to hit that. It's pretty much the same here, right?
Yeah.
So folks want to get in and do something. It doesn't have to be toe to bar or GHD sit-ups every single day. It's
you can do like a small Tabata, just work like that.
Another question is, because you know how often we're taught, and sometimes with our program, where we put it as a finisher, do you think it's still okay to maybe do as a warm-up, like when you start, and then go into your workout itself? Yeah. I think it's a great idea because, it will test your core strength a little bit more as well.
I agree with you. So I'm pretty happy with that as well. I mean, I did last week 40 minutes and EMOM of 4 exercises, and one of the exercises was plank. It was like 30 or 40 seconds plank.
You might find when you're a bit fresh, you could probably put a little bit more work into it.
A little bit
always do it as a finisher mentally. Sometimes you're like, I'll just stop there.
You give up too
soon.
So today's gymnastics class finisher was 100 toe to bar. Next week, gymnastics class warm-up is 150 toe to bar, is it? Maybe not. I think we're almost there. We have, starting next week, we spoke about it last week, but I just want to highlight it again. Pure Strength starts on Saturday, a new cycle. It's 3 days a week, led by Carmen. She's going to teach it. You're going to have to listen to her for the next at least 2 months, 3 days a week, unless she's sick of you. Or of it, or of something.
Of you, of me.
Of you, of me, of someone. So she's rolling out that Pure Strength. I'm actually going to follow it exactly as she writes it as well. Maybe not in the class time because I sleep some nights at 6:30 in the evening. But I'm going to follow that as a test as well, just to make sure that, to see how it works on my body. But that's super, super cool program coming up. It is limited to 12 places. You can only book for the validity of your package. If you want to book up for the next few months, you need to secure your membership for the next few months, and we will book you in. Yes?
Can I say, if people want to commit to it, then try to come to 3
times
really
is
want to
important.
come, and also I want you to record the things, like keep a book, write it down, or put it in your phone or whatever, because it's really important that you can follow your progress and that we build up every week to something. And when it's maxed out, it's not only maxing out in the strength part, it's also in all the accessory work we're going to do, because it has no use to keep but it needs to be really hard. Those last reps, you have
all
to
the
really
time. I think one thing as well that's worth pointing out. It's not that you're going to get bulky. It's not that you're going to look like
me,
like Carmen, in 2 or 3 months. So and it's going to be a damn hard hour of working out. So actually, if you normally come to class on Sunday and you're thinking, I'm going to double up, that's not an option. You're still going to be able to get 2 or 3 workouts in, conditioning workouts in. There is no pure strength on a Thursday. You guys know that that's always a super hard workout, so you can get your conditioning there. You're not going to get fat. You're not going to put on body fat if you keep eating properly during it. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to jump onto this, I'm going to build my strength for the next 2 or 3 months, I'm going to change a little bit what I'm doing, I'm going to do Saturday, Sunday and Tuesday pure strength, I'm still going to do gymnastics on a Monday, and then maybe Wednesday, Thursday I'm going to jump into the class. Like, that's really a way that I would be looking at it. I
think they will make a lot of progress if they can keep it up like that with good food.
With good
food. Recovery will be good, and then you'll really look forward to it. You'll attack those conditioning pieces when it's on that day. So
but definitely. If you're expecting, and I'll be pretty much making sure that people are not doing it, it's not really an option to double those sessions up. You just will. One of them, it's almost like we've been banging on about for a while now, of weightlifting and gymnastics and then doing the class afterwards. We understand if you want to do a little bit of the conditioning, then that can also work, but the gains that you're making in either class is just going to be totally diluted. So that starts on Saturday, and I don't know if this email's gone out, but it hasn't yet, but by the time this podcast comes live on Thursday on iTunes and on YouTube, weightlifting class structure will have changed from Wednesday the 4th of November. Weightlifting class is going to be split into weightlifting A and weightlifting B. Weightlifting A, let me get this right, is for people that are as yet unable to complete the 5 disciplines and the weights of white zone in the zones of progression, and weightlifting class B is for those that can do that. Classes will now be 8 people, so weightlifting class A will have 8 people in it, weightlifting class B will have 8 people in it. It will be taught by 2 separate coaches, so more FaceTime with the coach, a lot more training. It will still, both classes will happen at the same time. One will be on one side of the room, the other will be on the other side of the room, and it will still be at 6:30 on a Wednesday. Please make sure you book into the right classes. If you do not know which class you should book into, speak to a coach. Or have a look on the site, InnerFight.com/levels of progression is exactly where those zones are housed, and they're also on the board, on the zones of progression board downstairs. There's 5 things. Let me get it right. Overhead squats, the bottom one. Snatch is obviously one. Clean and jerk, and
shoulder to overhead.
Shoulders to overhead. Yeah, they're the 5 things, and you have to be able to complete. To move to class B, you have to be able to complete those 5 disciplines as stipulated in the zones of progression. Otherwise, you'll be in class A, which, in all honesty, will be aimed a little bit more towards preparing people and working. Both classes will work a lot on technique, but it's for the people that are maybe not quite at that level yet.
Done.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Done. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Should we wrap it up? Jonesy, we're at 54.
54.
The music's come on and everything.
Yeah, I hear you.
I have no idea what's going on here. Why is it playing
Moonshine,
so loud?
what's the deal? Yeah.
What is it?
Moonshine's got the cameras. Thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to everyone for watching. Had some really interesting feedback that people watch this in their office because we have our shirts off. Today, I have my shirt off. That's
next
okay.
Week,
fail.
Next week. A little bit of a fail. Carmen, Jonesy, Phil's back next week. Folks, thanks a lot for listening, and we'll catch you same place next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.